Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so that potential buyers can learn more about the business and the seller to help them make an informed buying decision. If you would like to learn more about this business, including details like what type of business it is, how much revenue and profit it makes, and all of the assets included with the business, simply visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business's listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and in the description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. So without further ado, let's get into this interview. First up, let's learn a little bit about you. Can you tell us about your background in building and running online businesses?
My entire career has been spent working with online businesses, so building them, buying them, selling them, all sorts of things. So I've been in the e-com space. I've done stuff with SaaS, digital products, and then more recently in the last few years, I've gotten into buying and selling YouTube channels. I really like YouTube specifically because it's really easy to understand and gather data from what YouTube reports and make decisions based off of that data. And the momentum with YouTube tends to be great as well. So, once a project takes off, as long as you keep posting the kind of things that people want to see, generally the income is fairly passive, depending on how you set it up. There's not much work that usually has to go into it, which I really like.
Why are you selling the business now instead of keeping it and growing it further?
There's a couple different reasons I'm looking to sell the business. One, I'm looking to get into the brick and mortar space and purchase a physical business. So I'd like to sell some of my assets, such as this YouTube channel, and then use those proceeds to go into the physical market and try something out there. And then the second reason as well is I have a portfolio of a few different YouTube channels right now. This one is out of place from my general strategy. So usually I tend to post quite frequently at the expense of reduced quality. So I'll use like AI voice, AI editing and all that kind of stuff and just pump out a lot of content. So that's been my business model. My systems are built around that. This channel has much higher quality videos and posts way less frequently. So generally posts 1 to 2 times a month, maybe 3 times a month. And the videos tend to gain a lot of views, right? So the first few days or weeks, they'll get a few thousand views, and then, eventually a lot of them tend to take off. So there's several videos over 1 million, several over 500,000, 700,000, 800,000. So this is much better for somebody who doesn't want to post really frequently and doesn't have systems built around that, but rather instead wants to go into posting less, but posting higher quality content and going the Google Ads and potentially sponsorship route, as sponsors tend to like these kind of channels more.
Can you describe the amount and the type of work that you do on this business to maintain it?
Right now, I'm doing almost nothing at all to maintain this business realistically. I'm taking a backlog of unlisted videos that I have and just slowly dripping those out. So honestly, I've spent maybe 1 to 2 hours at an absolute maximum this month working on the channel, because only 1 to 2 videos are generally posted a month. If you were to create totally new content from scratch, which I'm sure you would eventually, whether or not you went through the backlog of unlisted videos, the process would generally look the same as any other YouTube channel, right? So you start out, you pick your topic based on the topics that have been performing well with the audience in the past. Then you perform research on that topic. I'd recommend you use something like Google Gemini to do that research, which is what I've used in the past. And then you would also use AI to write the scripts So in the past, I've also used, well, instead of Gemini, I've used ChatGPT. So I have a script prompt that I'm more than happy to share that produces scripts that are quite engaging and suspenseful and have a good YouTube story format for people to follow. Once that script is produced, you then have the voiceover. So you'll either need to voice over yourself, or you can hire somebody to do the voiceover for you, or you can realistically pay for a really high quality voiceover model or AI voice model and have that be the voiceover. And then from there, the last step would just be to send it off to a video editor to create the video based off of the voiceover and the research. Besides that, the only other thing to really do is just hop on a Fiverr or something like that and hire a thumbnail designer. But you could also do that yourself, or Fiverr tends to be really cheap. I mean, you could find people that'll do 2 thumbnails for $5. So that would essentially be the video creation process. And if you're keeping up a similar frequency, you'd only be doing that once or twice a month. But obviously, if you want to post more, then it's going to be more work on your end, but the steps remain the same nonetheless.
So, if you were to keep this business, what are some of the ways you would try to grow it?
If I were to keep the business, I would probably try to pump out videos once a week, maybe twice a week, without sacrificing the quality, rather than doing 1 to 2 times a week. Because if you keep it at 1 to 2 times a week, I mean, just by its very nature, you're generally more at the mercy of the algorithm. So we've had success, but some videos will take off and do 1.5 million views, and another may only do like 30, 40,000 after a few months, right? So if you want that to stabilize and slowly increase, I would recommend that you increase the frequency. But this is definitely not a model where you'd want to be posting as frequently as once every 2 days or every day, because these videos tend to be better researched and more engaging and story driven. So yeah, the posting frequency is less. I would also invest in higher quality editors. I think over the long run, that would definitely trigger a better return on the channel financially, just improving the editing overall. Even though it's already pretty good, but I think there's still room to improve.
Right. And what would you say are the biggest risks with this business that buyers should be aware of?
I'd say the biggest risk with this YouTube channel, pretty much like all YouTube channels, is just the algorithm. There's times when the algorithm is just fantastic and just really loves your videos, and there's times where it doesn't, especially if you're not posting frequently or at a high cadence, and instead posting once or twice a month like this channel is. You're definitely way more at the mercy of the algorithm. So then you're relying on a lot of older videos that have gotten a ton of views that have that like solid foundation for you, right? I think you can mitigate this risk pretty easily, just again by posting way more frequently. But for sure, that's a concern that you would have to consider and be aware of when you're making an offer on this, that the algorithm can make decisions of its own sometimes in terms of how a video performs.
How much support are you willing to offer the buyer who acquires this business?
I'm realistically willing to offer as much support as needed. Whatever you need, I'm on board with it, whether you want long-term email support, hopping on calls, whatever it may be, that's all fine. The YouTube channel is pretty straightforward and easy to run, and not a lot of work. But again, if there is anything that you need assistance with, or you're not familiar with YouTube, or you haven't run channels before, I'm more than happy to talk about whatever kind of transition period you feel like is helpful, and do what I can to make sure that the transition is smooth and you get off on the right foot.
Are you open to negotiating something like an earn-out agreement?
Given that the asking price is fairly low, with the multiple on the low side as well, I would not be open to an earn-out at this point.
Okay, final question. If you had to put yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why is your business a business worth buying?
I personally think this business is worth buying, mainly because it's different from a lot of the, YouTube automation channel stuff that people are doing, including myself, but utilizing AI just to pump out videos en masse. It's different from that. And YouTube is starting to clamp down on that kind of stuff heavily, with demonetizing channels that do that, with stopping sending views over to those channels and those videos. This channel is distinct because it's very human, right? Like the editor is human, the voiceover is human. A lot of the subscribers really, really like the channel for the content specifically and come back and watch again and again. And like a lot of the videos aren't just one-time things that blow up and people never see again. It's like we have a lot of viewers, if you read the comments, that are devoted followers of the channel. I think with content like this as well, that is higher quality and less of this just AI pumping out stuff, sponsors tend to like these channels better as well because the subscribers have a connection with this kind of video really well and they enjoy it. So I definitely think sponsors are more likely to contract with and sponsor videos on a channel like this, again, rather than like YouTube automation channels or channels that are pumping out videos. And then the final thing is it's just not a lot of work, right? I mean, the low video frequency makes it really easy for the owner. Obviously, if you choose to edit the videos yourself and you want to keep them high quality, that's going to be a lot of work, but I don't imagine most people really will. The workload is super low. So yeah, those are my thoughts on why I think this channel is worth buying.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this business is still for sale, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll find everything you need to know about this business. So thanks for joining us. See you next time.